What is going on, YouTube? This is Jim, and today I want to talk to you guys about Ghost Recon Wildlands. Now, I've been beta testing this game for months, but unfortunately, due to the NDA, could not tell you guys anything about it. But finally, now that it's gone open beta, I can take a look back at everything I've done to date and finally give you guys my true impression on the game. I did play this with 3 other friends, and I think the experience is significantly better when you're playing with other people than opposed to AI. Now, really, what isn't true in that statement about any game, I don't know, but particularly in Ghost Recon Wildlands, it is so much more fun when you have other people that you can play with that actually are not just bots that glitch and teleport to you instantly, that can really change the flow of the game. So, if you're not familiar with Ghost Recon Wildlands, it's very simple. Take the best elements of Splinter Cell and The Division and put them in an open world jungle shooting environment. Much more open world than The Division. Even though the beta only covers one area, there's 21 areas in the map that you can go around and explore. They're all very different looking. I've seen some of them I just read about. There's even a glitch now that you can actually get outside the parameters of the beta and go explore everything on your own. Despite all that, it's definitely going to have a lot of legs to it, but it really is much more open world, much along the lines of, say, Far Cry 4 or Far Cry Primal, where you can really go anywhere. The Division was somewhat open world, but it was very restricted due to a lot of the buildings. So it's that, but to the next level. And the game really does work on a lot of levels. The missions are fun. You work your way up the Santa Blanca cartel criminal chain by taking out bosses, consistently working your way up to the next boss and the next boss. And you start gathering clues and putting together who is the lieutenants and the captains that run this criminal organization. Now, you know the names of the main players, but it's all the sub-lieutenants that are a mystery to you until you begin doing missions to slowly uncover what is going on. And a lot of the game is that mission based of rescuing hostages or gathering intel, doing things that slowly expand your understanding of what the Santa Blanca cartel organization is ultimately about. And then you begin to set up your strike and start taking out some of these key players. And it is really a lot of fun. The story does seem pretty well in terms of just overall pacing and everything. It's hard to say. You know, I'm only seeing bits and pieces of it. Obviously, no one's played through the entire thing yet. So it's hard to really get a good feel on that. But it feels like it's not going to be as repetitious as, say, a Far Cry or an Assassin's Creed, where it's going to be very systematic, where you're going to go into a town and find the tower and then eagle jump off a thing. You know, it's like, you know how Ubisoft games get in that nasty gameplay hook? This game feels a little bit more different because each zone is handled differently. There are other factions in the game that can be your friend or your enemy. I feel like they're going to have a lot more play as the game goes on. I hope they're not purely optional, just, oh, by the way, while you're doing this main mission objective, Group B is coming and they flank you and it just turns into a big firefight. I'd like to hope that those other organizations are more fleshed out. Again, remains to be seen. Tons of weapons in the game, all based on real, military type weapons with silencers and scopes and handles. You can switch any of your guns on the fly once you've permanently unlocked them by finding weapon caches in the game. And this is a great segue into finding a lot of your materials in the game is done solely by this exploration, by these weapon caches. Sometimes you'll be able to just uncover them just walking around and you'll randomly go into a building and find them. Sometimes maybe you'll find a clue that says, hey, there's a weapon cache here, and it'll permanently unlock a sniper rifle or a submachine gun or the super shotty, and then you can begin to expand those. At any time, you could just go into your character screen and switch to whatever weapon you want. It's a really nice system, and I think it works really well. You don't have to keep going back and fast traveling. It's more of a cost a convenience to the player. Maybe it breaks the realism, but that's okay. And I think that really does work very well, and it is a very fun system because sometimes you want to go and run and gun, and sometimes you may want to be a little more stealthy and pull out your sniper rifle with a scope and sit way up on the mountain and slowly start picking people off. Now, this is really where it benefits you to have human friends playing with you as opposed to the AI companions that join you in the game. The AI companions will always really kind of stay close to you. Now, they do add the sync shot, very similar to, if you guys remember, some of the later Tom Clancy games, where you can mark 3 or 4 targets in a row and pull a trigger, and Sam Fisher would kill everybody in a row. This is very similar to that, where you mark 4 targets, but you have to manually shoot the first one. Once you shoot the first one, your AI companions will take out the other 3. But it's a lot more fun playing with human players because it adds that element of really taking riskier shots, and you can really expand the battlefield and have people flank from all different sides. You could have a guy sitting on top with a helicopter, shooting down, shooting machine guns as he's doing strafing runs, while another guy's over in the corner setting up C4. Another guy rams through the gate in the car, and then there's maybe another guy, I don't know, sniping or ground forces. But you really can pick apart the enemy when you start manipulating the battlefield to your advantage. And you have things like your drone to scout ahead, and a lot of the gadgets you've seen in other Ubisoft games, the night visions, the thermal visions, all those are here in the game. They even take some of the elements from Rainbow Six and put some of those weapons in the game. So it seems to be a culmination of all Ubisoft tech from the beginning of time to present, and it works very well. Unfortunately, as with other Ubisoft games, it does have a lot of bugs. It's sometimes hard to join games with your friends. Sometimes people would drop off unexpectedly. Some of the HUD and user interface seem kind of wonky. You'd get notifications on your screen that never went away. And a lot of graphical glitches. Characters driving in vehicles, but not really in the vehicle, maybe running alongside of them or swimming. I didn't see this, but my friend did. And it kind of breaks the element a little bit. And it's unfortunate. Ubisoft seems to still struggle with these open world games. You guys saw my review on Watch Dogs 2. You guys saw my video on how bad the frame rate skips. And the same is kind of true here. I'm running a 970 with a pretty beefy computer, and I'm playing the game on medium to high resolution, and I'm still getting inconsistent frame drops for really no reason. So the game still seems to be missing some optimization. I hope they fix that in a very future patch, even though the game's not out yet, or enough people complain about it in the beta that they'll realize they have to go back and fix it, because it does kind of break some of the ambiance of the game when you're getting these really, jarring frame rate drops for really no reason. But when the game is at its best and you're playing with your friends and you're taking out enemy camps from all different sides, and the frame rate looks smooth, and you're under the cover of night, and the night vision or the thermal vision just looks so sweet, this game hits its stride. If you really don't have any friends to play with and you think you're just going to tackle it solo, I advise against it, only because I don't think you're going to get enough from this game in a single player experience that you would in any of the other games. But I think when you add that other human element to it, and you really open up that multiplayer environment, and you really start to see all the crazy things you guys can do, it's very reminiscent to me of Grand Theft Auto's heists. When they worked well, they worked so well. In this open world environment, even if push comes to shove and the best laid plans go south, you always know you got 3 other people who can actually shoot and aim and take cover logically, and you have a really good chance of success. So pretty fun game. Not all there. There's still some, like I said, some bugs in it, but I definitely think this is one to keep an eye out for. I'm going to get it only if my other friends do. If they're not going to get it, I'll move on to something else. But we played it for maybe about 5 hours on Friday night, beat the beta demo, took out the first set of mob bosses, did all the optional quests, tagged all the barrels, got all the crates, all that good stuff. Had a lot of fun doing it, but very clearly, once they left and I was still online by myself, it got very boring. So we'll see what everybody else does. So I'd say this is a maybe for me, but for you, if you guys have some friends, it's an absolute must. If they're going to play with you guys and you're going to commit to beating the game together, this is definitely a fun game. I think if you like The Division, but you felt like it was missing something, this game is going to answer that, and this game is going to really appeal to you. So there you guys have it. My thoughts on Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands, coming to all major platforms very, very soon. Hope you guys enjoyed my quick reaction to it. Get out there, knock your microphone filter off, play some games, and until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.